Hi, Erin Hudson at Vibrations Yoga. Thanks for tuning in. I wanted to talk for a couple moments about emotions and how to identify them. We're in I don't want to call it a transition, but I guess it is a transition of sorts. The way we're living our lives right now, we're moving from what was once very normal into a whole new normal, and then we're dealing with not knowing when everything is going to go back to what we were used to in life, and it might not. So many things are subject to change right now. Excuse me. But in the middle of all that, we're going through a lot of different emotions and maybe acting in ways that we don't normally act, and that's unfamiliar to us. And I've noticed in speaking with a lot of people that they're experiencing a lot of turbulence internally and don't know what's going on. So I wanted to suggest that if you're feeling a little bit out of sorts or experiencing what you might think is anger or sadness, or maybe it is joy that you're not used to pause if it's uncomfortable or if you're uncertain about it. Let's take a few moments to close your eyes, take some deep breaths, and see if you can identify what the emotion truly is. So for instance, I tend to act a little bit angry when I'm actually sad, and I think it just transformed over the years. A long time ago, I used to, just bottle up a lot of things, and I would lash out in other ways. Back when I was much younger, I didn't know what to do with that sadness, so I would, break things or yell at people and just be really bitchy, and that wasn't directly what I was experiencing. Now I'm starting to see a little bit of that come back. There's been some little moments of sadness, and I start to get cranky, and I don't break things or get destructive anymore. I've learned to move past that, but I did notice here's an opportunity to stop and tune in to what's really happening. And where I feel like maybe a little bit of anger was starting to bubble up, once I sat with that, I realized oh no, wait a minute. This emotion that I'm feeling right now is a little bit of sadness. A little bit of grief was coming up, and it's kind of like just grieving the loss of community in a way, like not being able to be at the studio and be with everybody. We were just kind of like stripped away from our normal lives, and there is a little bit of grief and sadness there. So once I knew what I was really feeling, like that was the root of those little angry acts, I was like, oh, okay, maybe I just need to take a hot bath and cry. And it sounds silly, but if I respond appropriately to that emotion, it comes out in a much healthier way. So if you are experiencing, anger is really a great example, because a lot of us go to that in place of a lot of other emotions, and that might not really be what you're feeling. It might be, but just sit with it and see if you can pinpoint what the true emotion is that you're experiencing, and give yourself an opportunity to find another way to let that out. Sometimes we are actually angry, and something did make you mad, but then we go and we're just crying. I don't know why I'm crying, and I do that too. It's kind of funny. I don't know, I'm crying, I'm so sad right now. I'm like, no, wait a minute. Sitting with that, digging in a little bit deeper. Somebody did give me a reason, or maybe not a reason, but I allowed myself to internalize it and become a little bit angry. And now I'm over here crying, and I'm not really sad. So let me take some deep breaths, and then I'm going to, maybe go to the source and share my feelings or explain why a particular, let's say a boundary was established and it needs to be respected, so that I can just wipe out that little bit of anger. So I hope you find this a little bit helpful. There's so many emotions and so many weird things going on. Just be kind to yourself, be patient, try not to get stuck. That's a really big thing. Sometimes we get stuck in an emotion and we just stay there, or what we believe to be a particular emotion, and we just stay in this cycle. And it's really important to move through it and allow yourself a little more freedom, because we don't want to hold on to anything any longer than necessary. So feel it, let it be, evaluate it, see if it's really the true emotion you have, maybe see if there's another choice you can make as to how you allow that to come out. And yeah, that'll allow you a lot more personal freedom. And there's a lot of power in that, being able to really know your feelings. So good luck. My allergies are bugging. I love you. I miss you all. Namaste.